money's very important, but legacy is also important as well. I feel like I can't retire without fighting Inoue, so I need to get that fight before I do retire and, of course, beat him and make the money and enjoy it with my family.
Vargas was able to reach Bam, right? Does that have anyone reconsidering Inoue's chances against Bam? I've brought this up. Malik has brought this up. Inoue, Bam is not a very long fighter. He's compact.
Yes.
And Vargas was able to reach him partly just with the length of his arms, right? He's a taller guy. Does that make you think differently? Because Inoue is coming with bazookas.
What do you see that make you feel like you could compete with that?
I mean, he's a good fighter. He's strong. He has skill as well. But I mean, I have the whole package too. So, I mean, it's just a matter of actually stepping inside the ring with him, and I could say
the highly anticipated fight that boxing fans have been waiting for is now official, as Naoya Inoue confirmed on Instagram that a clash with Jesse "Bam" Rodriguez is on the way. The announcement quickly sent excitement throughout the boxing world and added to growing expectations surrounding the matchup. Following the confirmation that a bout with Inoue is approaching, promoter Hearn described the contest as a major event, while also explaining that several important strategic decisions still need to be carefully considered before everything moves forward.
Soon, we're probably going to miss the boat. I mean, when we talked about the Inoue fight a year ago, Bam was at 115 pounds. He'd just come up from 112. It looked like a bridge too far, a step too far. Being at 118 and being one division away makes it much more realistic, but that was his first fight there tonight. And I think, I'm a little bit of a fantasist when it comes to matching fights. For me, I know there's weight classes for a reason, but I don't think the step is too far for him at 122. But I do think it's a disadvantage for him against Naoya Inoue. I mean, it can only be.
He explained that Bam has two possible paths ahead, as he can remain at 118 pounds and pursue complete unification, or move up to 122 pounds, which Hearn believes is eventually going to happen. According to Hearn, the only real question is when that move will take place, whether it happens in December, January, or sometime next year. He also admitted that the final choice will depend heavily on the opportunity presented, and that Bam, along with Robert, will carefully consider their options before making a decision.
Bam are going to have to weigh up a decision. Do you do it now, or do you run the risk of letting it go forever? I don't think there's a bad decision. Because, realistically, Bam can stay at 118 pounds, fight all the champions, try and be undisputed. The move to 122 is inevitable. But is it in December, January, or is it in a year's time? So a lot depends on the offer. I've got to be honest. I mean, I think it's going to have to be, and it will be, an attractive offer in the respect of it's really, I don't want to be disrespectful to Usyk because, but he is coming to the back end. You're really looking at pound-for-pound number one bid.
Adding his own technical analysis, Paulie Malignaggi focused on several important aspects of Jesse Rodriguez's style that many fans often overlook. The former world champion pointed out certain strengths in Bam's skill set that could prove crucial when facing top-level opponents. He noted that Vargas had some success using similar tactics, but emphasized that Bam possesses outstanding footwork along with excellent ability to pivot and create angles while fighting on the inside.
Successful with some of that stuff, but Bam has really good footwork, really good pivoting moves on the inside. He gets off to the weak side a lot and creates new punching angles from that southpaw stance, and he's doing that well against Vargas. Vargas is setting it well also while pivoting. See, Bam gets those earmuffs up at the southpaw stance and then pivots over to his right side. When he pivots over to his right side, he bends over, pivots to his right side and spins. So he's got that angle on you.
Discussing Bam's adjustment to the 118-pound division, Mike Coppinger pointed to the Vargas fight as an important measuring stick. He explained that although Vargas is not considered to be on Inoue's level, he is still a respected Olympian who provided a real challenge. According to Coppinger, Bam showed no hesitation during the fight and demonstrated a willingness to stand his ground, engage when necessary, and do what was needed to secure the victory. Interview.
Good fighter.
Good
Varga's
fighter.
a good fighter.
Good,
Yeah.
good technical fighter, and he was willing to put it on him. He wasn't scared. He was there to win. So that's he'll have another fight, before he fights in the Monster. He'll get more acclimated, and I do think that really Bam's youth and how fresh he is kind of neutralizes maybe the gap in
But
size.
that's another weight division up,
It is.
too.
Yeah.
It's not just that he's fighting.
Going up again.
What do you think? Like, I have to admit, I was kind of split on Bam versus the Monster early on. Maybe the Monster's length gives him a little advantage. And then in recent fights, I thought Bam is too young.
Continuing the discussion about age and career timing Adel presented a strong argument for why Bam Rodriguez may possess an important advantage over Naoya Inoue. The analyst pointed to the difference between a boxer who is approaching his physical prime and another who could already be beyond that stage, suggesting that the timing of this matchup might ultimately work in Bam's favor.
At 26 years old, and that's Jesse Bam Rodriguez. The other fighter in Naoya Inoue, who's 33, and fighters' primes in this era last longer than they once did. But still, 33 was once, at least, thought of as a pretty old age in the bantamweight and flyweight type divisions and featherweight divisions. And while Inoue is still arguably the best fighter in the world pound for pound, his peak is behind him. I think his father thinks that too. I think that's part of why they pumped the brakes on moving to 126. I think that was smart because just looking at Inoue's body in the Nakatani fight, he was smaller than Nakatani, who was coming up from 118. I think his body wasn't asking him, from the looks of it, to become a featherweight.
Taking the discussion even further, Zedel delivered his strongest prediction yet regarding Bam Rodriguez's future. The analyst expressed his confidence with the same certainty as a famous Joe Willie Namath style guarantee, leaving little doubt about his expectations. He laid out what he believes is the ideal plan for Bam by first unifying all the belts at 118 pounds and establishing himself as the undisputed champion at bantamweight. After accomplishing that goal, Zedel believes Bam should then move up to 122 pounds and face Naoya Inoue at exactly the right time. In his view, this is not merely a hopeful possibility, but a clear strategy that he believes Bam is capable of carrying out successfully.
Next year or so, in the next 12 months or so, Bam Rodriguez will pull off the upset and he will beat Naoya Inoue. He has the best trainer in the world in Robert Garcia, and he is the best trainer in the world's prized pupil. I don't think there's any other fighter right now that has the apple of Robert Garcia's eye like Bam Rodriguez. So, to lay it out, fight Takama Inoue, unify at 118, beat Inoue's brother, and then move up in your first or second fight in the next 12 months or so and fight Inoue. And I think he beats him. I'm saying he beats him.
Focusing on defensive issues, Malik Scott brought attention to an important question regarding whether Bam can withstand the punching power of Naoya Inoue. He specifically mentioned a part of Bam's defensive style and suggested that depending too much on that guard could create problems against a fighter with Inoue's accuracy and knockout ability. Scott's comment implied that Bam may need to refine certain aspects of his defense before facing a dangerous finisher like the Monster. He also emphasized that the challenge involves moving up another weight class, which adds an extra layer of difficulty beyond simply facing Inoue himself.
Two, it's not just that he's fighting.
Going up again.
What do you think? Like, I have to admit, I was kind of split on Bam versus the Monster early on. Maybe the Monster's length gives him a little advantage. And then in recent fights, I thought Bam's too young and fresh, southpaw boxer, the whole thing. And after watching Vargas tag Bam, I'm like,
I changed a little bit.
yeah, right? I'm back kind of 50-50.
You know why I did is because I don't trust that earmuffs defense against the Monster. I really don't. It makes me ask questions because he could probably.
And you can hear it because you can hear that through the earmuffs.
Yes.
You can hear that sound through the earmuffs.
So Malik, so you're going with the Monster then. So I'm going to go with...
Adding another perspective to the debate, Paulie Malignaggi highlighted a factor that could significantly influence a future showdown between Rodriguez and Inoue. The former champion explained that the timing of the matchup may favor Bam, since Inoue has reached a stage in his career where certain physical advantages can gradually begin to decline.
That one step and dip and pivot and so on and so forth. But if you back him up more than one step, you back him up 2-3 steps at a time with your offense. There was one time Vargas did it at the end of round 2. Rodriguez's head movement sort of disappears when he's going back like that. It's hard to do it to him because, usually he'll take a step back and then just pivot or change levels. He's got great level changes, by the way. But if you can get some momentum of Rodriguez going back consistently, he actually seems to just put the earmuffs up and the head movement stops. I only noticed Vargas really was able to do that once, but it makes you think, again, if somebody like Inoue can consistently back up Rodriguez, does all the head movement and switch of punching angles and switch of level changes, does that sort of start disappearing? And that's not just for adept offensive tactics.
Those comments also come from personal experience and sincere concern because as a former 2-division champion who competed against powerful opponents, Paulie understands the risks that come with moving up in weight too quickly. When he mentioned that Bam was able to feel Vargas' power, he was quietly pointing to a possible warning sign. His view was that if Vargas was able to have that effect, then the short and explosive right hands of Inoue would present an even greater challenge. Paulie is not questioning Bam's abilities, but instead believes caution is necessary to avoid making a decision that could negatively affect his career.
If you're going to be susceptible to those shots, you got to start wondering, could Inoue hurt Rodriguez, catch him consistently with some of those shots that Vargas was catching him with? Because if you get hit with those tight, straight shots from Inoue, it's a lot different for them from Vargas. And if you're telling me that you were feeling the ones from Vargas, you're going to move up and weight again and fight Inoue, and Inoue's power against smaller guys, and obviously Bam is a smaller guy as well, it's shown to be pretty devastating. Now again, I love this fight. I love the Inoue fight, but I think that Bam probably should take one fight at 122, maybe around October. If I'm Bam's team, that's what I would look.
Sharing his assessment of a possible Rodriguez versus Inoue matchup, Radio Raheem described what he sees as 2 likely outcomes. He explained that if the contest reaches the final bell, then Inoue's experience and accurate punching would probably give him the advantage on the scorecards. However, if the fight ends inside the distance, he believes the stoppage would most likely come from Bam either hurting Inoue early or taking advantage of an opening at close range to land a shot capable of changing the entire fight.
How much of the storm can Inoue weather? And when he does end up getting that, if the fight goes long enough, for him to get that second gear, that second win, that spinach in the corner, that phenomenal recharge that Inoue is known for, at that point, if Bam is still being able to be hit the way Vargas hit him, will he then overwhelm Bam Rodriguez? If Inoue, for me, wins this fight, it's down the stretch. It's Bam fight early, Inoue.
Shifting the discussion to legacy, Raheem and Zadel debated whether a victory over Inoue would instantly elevate Bam into worldwide superstardom, or whether Inoue's established popularity and deep championship experience would still make him the overwhelming favorite. They also recognized Inoue's well-known ability to step up his performance when the pressure increases, a trait that has shaped much of his career. Because of that, both analysts remain split on whether Bam would realistically be able to dethrone the Japanese star on boxing's biggest stage.
Him out in the first 3-4 rounds and maybe lose those rounds. I think if he goes in there with that mindset, he's finished. I think he's got to go in there with no respect. He's got to go in there and force Inoue to prove that at that age, he's still the guy that can do something that is going to make Bam change his strategy. Bam's got to go in there and do Bam things and force Inoue to make him do other things. Don't go in there trying to figure out what Inoue is going to do and then download information on shit. No, he's going to beat you that way. You need to go in there and be Mexican. Mexican-American, Mexican with Mexican national heritage. You need to go in there and be that, like, American.
Expanding on the tactical angle, Robert Garcia provided a detailed explanation of how top-level fighters compete for control inside the ring. He described how one boxer may use a wider stance to dominate the outside distance and keep his opponent from getting close, while the other works more patiently, gradually stepping in to close the gap and force exchanges on the inside. According to Garcia, this ongoing battle for positioning acts like a strategic chess match and is often the key factor in deciding who controls the rhythm of the fight and who is able to land the more effective and cleaner punches.
Shot. Have you gotten a lot of calls about Bam and Inoue yet?
A lot.
What do people tell you, Robert?
They want to see it. They love it.
They all say the Bam wins, right?
Everybody loves it.
Pete, I've been saying that for 7 years. 7? I have the video. 7 years. Bam was amateur and I called it. I have the video because we called his dad on FaceTime. Who?
26. Let's wait till Inoue's 41.
You don't need to wait.
After the fight, it's like, let's do it next.
You said let's do it next?
So wait till he's 41. Wait till he's 41. We have a fight.
Okay, after the fight. Respect.
Keeping respect for Antonio Vargas in mind and building on the rising buzz around a potential mega fight, Jesse Bam Rodriguez has publicly called out pound for pound star Naoya Inoue, creating strong anticipation for what could become one of the most exciting matchups in recent boxing history. This is not being framed as simple hype or a money-driven challenge, but rather as a deliberate statement from a young champion who appears confident that his skill set is enough to challenge and potentially defeat one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport.
Weight class, I feel like I'll be have a bigger frame, be a lot older, wiser.
And few people are better positioned to break this down than Robert Garcia himself. He has been in Bam Rodriguez's corner since the early stages of his career, helping shape him into the strong and pressure-driven fighter scene today. Because he has directly influenced Bam's style, discipline, and mindset from the start, Garcia's analysis holds significant value. He understands exactly how his fighter performs in close-range exchanges, and also what technical changes would be required if Bam were to face a fighter like Inoue, who excels at controlling distance and dictating range.
It's capable. I have the skills. I have what it takes to beat him, but it's just a matter of time before we're in the same weight class.
Yeah.
And I mean, people are already...
Adding another influential perspective to the ongoing discussion, promoter Eddie Hearn recently reviewed Naoya Inoue's latest performance and said it strengthened his belief that Bam could be the fighter to beat him. He admitted that he previously had reservations about whether the jump in competition level might be too much and whether Bam was truly ready for that step. However, after observing Bam's recent performances, where he looked physically strong and comfortable at bantamweight, his view changed significantly. He also noted that the difference in age between the two fighters could play an important role in how the matchup unfolds. But what ultimately convinced Hearn was not just physical ability or athletic measurements, but something less tangible that cannot be tracked with numbers or statistics. He emphasized that his belief comes from an instinctive impression rather than pure analysis. According to Hearn, the real turning point was how Bam presents himself mentally, particularly the confidence he sees when looking into his eyes. He described it as a complete absence of doubt, which made him even more certain about Bam's readiness.
In Saudi, and I've never been more convinced that Jesse Bam Rodriguez beats him. Honestly, like for a long period of time, I thought it might be a step too far for Jesse, but now Jesse's up at bantamweight and feels big and strong there. Like, I just think he's too good for him. He's 26 years old, and what's Inoue, 33 now? Like, I don't see Bam